Good morning, listeners, on a rather chilly Thursday morning. And I think we can all agree the past week, winter certainly gave us a little bit of a wake-up call. I do not believe it's the end of it, but anyway, we are tough. We live on the South Coast and we are tough. And for those of you who are listening from other parts of the country, I know you have it a lot worse. And your minimum temperatures really makes ours look like midsummer. Anyway, that said, today we're going to talk about allowing things to be. And what brought this pearl of wisdom to mind was yours truly heard the song Let It Be by Paul McCartney. And it was kind of, to the best of my recollection, written towards the end of the Beatles' amazing career. And when the band was starting to, the members going their own different direction and the band was breaking up, and Paul McCartney wrote, Let It Be. There's a quote attributed to Meryl Streep, and apparently she is said, let things fall apart. Stop exhausting yourself trying to hold them together. Nothing is meant to last forever. And forcing what is already breaking will only drain you. Sometimes the best thing you can do is to let it go. In other words, let it be. And so I start with going back to for those young moms who have 18-month-olds and 2-year-olds. And we have all heard about the terrible twos, where the little guy or the little girl becomes more insistent on doing things for themselves. And that includes pouring milk over their cereal, which goes all over the table, feeding the family pet with most of the kibbles being spilled along the way, and the poor pet getting very little at the end of the journey from the container holding the pebbles to the pet, to other tasks that this toddler now insists on doing themselves. And that is often referred to as the terrible twos, because they can be quite insistent and have a bit of a tantrum when you try and take things out of their little hands. They want to dress themselves even though they get it wrong. And listeners, here I want to say that it is perfectly normal and natural stage of development. At this point, your toddler is starting to become a little bit more independent, starting to form their own identity, starting to take a bit more control of their environment. I can pour my own milk, or I can put the dog's food down, or whatever it is, or dress myself even though my t-shirt is on back to front. And that gives them a tremendous sense of achievement and of control of their environment, and to a certain extent, obviously, themselves. And this is very, very necessary. And often parents get very frustrated and insist on taking over the task so it can be done properly, with less fuss, less mess, and therefore making it easier for mom. But mom, remember, sometimes we need to let it be. Let your youngster do it themselves. Gently correct them, gently give them the skill to do it the right way, but don't take it over. Don't let them feel helpless. Don't let them feel they have no control, because having control over ourselves and over our environment is a very basic human need. It's the way we are wired. And while some people have a more exaggerated sense of, I'm in control and things are going to happen the way I want to, which can be problematic when it becomes domineering and controlling in a negative sense, most of us want to at least say, you know what, I want to have my coffee black with 6 spoons of sugar, and I want to wear this combination irrespective of perhaps someone in your family saying that is not the best combination of clothing or colors or whatever. It is your choice and you want to do it. So controlling our environment is natural. But the problem arises when we want to control things that cannot be controlled. And there are a laundry list of those things, from the cold weather we've been experiencing to the price of petrol that has gone up to, excuse me, listeners, I've had to have a sneeze there. We have these plants, I have no idea what they're called, in full bloom. And whilst they have a very pleasant smell, they're not very good for my hay fever. Anyway, back to control. So the things we can't control, as I say, are the weather, the price of the petrol that's gone up, the ever-present potholes, and other people's moods and decisions and choices. And if we try and control that, if we insist on controlling our toddlers' attempts at becoming independent, it leads to all sorts of other problems growing up. If we try and control everything around us in a workspace, in a family space, it puts unnecessary stress on yourself and on those around you. If your partner comes home in a foul mood because of something that's happened at work, something that's happened in the traffic, let it be. Let him or her sit with that mood and work it out for themselves. I'm not saying don't be supportive, but don't take it over. Don't put yourself out to say, I am going to control this. I'm going to make sure that his or her mood change, that they're in a good mood, that we can have a good evening together, etc., etc. Let them be. Let it be. They are old enough to vote, to drink, to drive, to smoke, and they're old enough to be in a mood if they so choose. You, on the other hand, you have control over your reaction or your response. You have control over your attitude, and your attitude can be, I can see you have had a bad day or a bad experience, or the meeting didn't go well. I'm going to give you some space to work through it, and if you want, we can chat about it. I am going to prepare dinner, go for a walk, or whatever it is that you do. You have control over yourself, over your, I want to almost call it micro-environment, without having the overwhelming need to control everything and everyone else. It can become a bit obsessive-compulsive. It can become perfectionism, where everything has to be just so. And again, listeners, I'll throw in a personal note. When I was a young woman, I was a bit of a perfectionist, so things had to be just so. And when my son was born and when he started becoming mobile, and I decided I can either relax and let him explore, and the house is not going to be immaculate, or I can try and control everything and make everyone, myself, my little boy, my husband, everyone miserable because I insist on controlling the environment. I decided to step back, and my mantra was, if it's not permanent damage, let it be. And that really made the mood and the vibe in the home a lot more relaxed and a lot more pleasant for everyone. So decide on the things that you cannot control. The state of the economy, what's happening between Trump and Musk, and there are all sorts of interesting things happening there, or between the USA and China, the trade wars. We have no control over that. So stop worrying about it. Start concerning yourself with the things you can control. And there are so many things we can control. We can fill our energy, our being, with positive input, with positive books, with, be it a meditation in the morning where you just set the tone for the day that it's going to be a good day. Listeners, don't reach for your cell phone the minute you open your eyes in the morning. Don't bring all that stuff into your bedroom before you even horizontal. Put your cell phone in the bathroom, on the dining room table, in the kitchen. Don't have it in the bedroom. So you are not tempted to first thing as you wake up, put your arm out, reach for your cell phone and start scrolling. In other words, right from the minute you open your eyes, you are disengaging with what's happening around you, with your environment. And you are putting yourself virtually in everybody else's environment and inviting that into your space. Give yourself the opportunity to say, I am going to start my day on a positive note. I'm going to be selective about what energy, what vibe I'm going to let into my space, because I have control over that. I can control what I focus on first thing in the morning. So let that be positive. Let that be a kind word to the members of your household. Let that be encouraging to, be it your partner or your youngsters, say you are going to have a lovely day. And if they are writing exams or a test, you've got this. It's going to be fine. Don't stress about it. You've done what you've done, and now let's see where the chips fall. And then, of course, be kind to yourself, your personal attitude towards yourself, because how we see and treat ourselves is how the rest of the world sees and treats us. So have the confidence, have the sense of self-worth, have the self-respect and honor yourself with filling yourself with positive things, with things that build you, with things that encourage you, with things that make you positive. And for the rest, let it be. When you become aware of what lies within your power to control, and you focus on that, and you become aware of what is outside your control, and you let it be, you will find yourself so much less stressed. You will find yourself less anxious. You will not be in a froth over everything that's happening around you. Instead, focus on what you can reasonably control and influence. And as I say, you can control your reactions, your attitude and your responses to other people and other situations. And again, as I say, if your partner comes home in a foul mood, let it be. If your teenager comes home in a foul mood, let it be. Be supportive, but don't take it on. Don't take it over. Don't make it your mission to make it better for them. Let them sit with it, because that is part of emotional maturity. That is part of them learning how to control their environment, just like the toddler who initially will spill the milk everywhere, and you have to let them spill the milk. Perhaps assist them in the cleaning up of it. So again, they learn to be more careful, because otherwise I have to clean it up. And so we have to allow the people in our circle to clean up their own messes, to sit with that emotion and to clean it up themselves. And listeners, as I say, I'm not saying don't be supportive. I'm not saying don't be a sounding board. What I am saying is don't take it away from them, and now it becomes your problem to solve. Give them the space to acquire the skill and the awareness that they have control over those things. So take on your own responsibilities. Take on what you can control and influence. And sometimes it's just as simple as walking into an office or into a shop with a smile, an encouraging word, a pleasant countenance about you that will immediately radiate a positiveness to everyone else. We all know how a negative person can walk into a room and just suck the positivity out of it. Remember, you can do the opposite. You can walk into a room and infuse it with positive energy and joy and the good things. So discover where you can control and let other people control their own reactions. See it as a teachable moment. Let it be. So relax, take a deep breath, let it be. And as always, if it won't matter in 6 months, don't fuss about it. You don't have to turn every little thing into a major issue. Learn to be discerning and learn what you can influence and control, and the rest, let it be. With that, I wish you a wonderful Thursday. It's a long weekend coming up. I wish you a good long weekend. I do hope you are going to become more self-aware and take control over the things you can, and the rest, let it be. And thank you for spending this time with us, with South Coast Radio, and of course with our host, Ryan Woodley.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.